All right, so every day you get in your car and you pretty much drive wherever you want to go, not thinking about that what piece of equipment is basically getting you from point A to point B. All right, what I'm going to tell you about today is a general overview about engines, of what goes into an engine, how they work, and how they basically produce power and energy. All right, first thing in engines, first main piece is the engine block. Two most common engines types you'll see are V6 or V8 engines and inline engines. All right, V6 or V8 is pretty much just how it sounds. The cylinders are in a V shape. Okay, that can be from a 6-cylinder engine to a 8-cylinder engine, all the way up to a 16-cylinder engine. They're out there. The guy Veyron has a 16-cylinder engine. All right, inline engines. Usually you see these are 4-cylinder cars. You can see inline 6s, like the Toyota Tacoma has an inline 6. But most of your front-wheel drive cars will have an inline 4, such as this. Typically, inline engines are typically more torquey. That's why any truck has an inline 6. It seems to have a little more jump on it, and that's just because this is the way it's set up. The next thing that goes into your engine block is your crankshaft. The crankshaft is basically what your connecting rod's attached to. This is what pretty much connects your flywheel at this point, which puts power to the wheels through your transmission. These pieces right here are your counterweights. So whenever you have your piston and your rods basically going through the engine block, it has a lot of power, and a lot of weight. So you have to have these counterweights basically to prevent like the crankshaft from just tearing up. You know what I'm talking about? Typically, these are balanced, usually made of like either forged steel or aluminum. Aluminum is most preferred because it's lightweight. It's just as strong as steel in most cases. The next thing I'm going to talk about are your connecting rods and pistons, okay? Two main connecting rods you'll see are H-beam rods and your I-beam rods. Typically, an I-beam rods will be used in a higher revving engine because they're lighter mass, so therefore it'll rev faster. Typically, you see like your such engines used in Formula 1 cars, stuff like that, will use I-beam rods as opposed to H-beam. H-beam is a little bit stronger because it's got a little bit more metal basically holding it together, less chances of it bending. On pistons, piston is what goes onto your connecting rod using something called a dermal that goes into this hole right here. This is a picture of it showing connected to a crankshaft. So basically I was talking about whenever a piston comes down, you have got the counterweight and it goes up, the counterweight's on the, so it keeps like a center of a center line. Piston can have, it's usually a dish connected by piston rings, which keep oil and stuff like that from seeping into your spots it's not supposed to, and keeping the compression. Compression's the most important part of your engine. That's how your engine functions. Pistons can have valve releases, as you can see right here, for your valves, and that can help with engine performances. All right, next thing we'll talk about is heads. You got two main different kind of heads. You got push rods, or you got overhead cam heads. Usually you'll see those in Mustangs, single overhead cam, dual overhead cams. This right here is a push rod. Usually these are your GM cars, such as like your Chevy Camaros and all that kind of stuff. It uses a push rod, which is basically this right here, attached to your camshaft. So when your camshaft turns, it pushes the push rod up, which in turn opens up the valves. Like I said, this is a picture of your dual overhead cam, which has the cams inside of the head. In a GM engine, you'll have the camshaft in the engine block. It usually only uses one. This is a picture of what the heads do. It has these valves, open and close, letting intake and exhaust gas. Camshaft. This is one of the big piece of your engine. What this does is it raises your lifters in your engine, which basically releases intake, takes in air and then expels exhaust. So whenever, as you can see on that previous picture, you have your crankshaft will turn your push rods, which will in turn open up your valves, letting intake in and exhaust out. And that's where your combustion usually happens. Like I said, this is just a brief overview of how your engine works and what the parts are inside of it. Every engine has these basic parts, unless you have an electric engine, which those are really expensive. But I guess to just give you a brief overview how they work.